This is the start of the Kerry Park Museum. We basically have a private tour of this museum. Puck Fair is one of Europe's oldest fairs, which takes place in Kilgren, County Kerry, on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of August every year. A puck goat is crowned king for 3 days to celebrate the harvest season. This is the puck goat. This is what they call a Romany cart van. It's what gypsies used to use as they traveled around the world. This is Jeremiah Mulvihill, a turf cutter's dwelling. This is how a turf cutter lived. This is how the Irish lived in this bog village in probably the 19th century. This is their china. And there's the bathtub. And there's the fireplace. You can even smell the peat burning. You can tell that the people who lived here were deeply religious. Lots of statues and pictures of Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary. Let's look at the next room. This is the master bedroom. And this is a turf cutter's house. He would cut peat to be burned by all the other people in the village. Look at the roof. The roof is a thatched roof. I assume it was dry when it rained. And it's said that many Irish folks lived this way until 1950. Matter of fact, I have it on great advice from my brother-in-law, who has relatives living in Ireland. And when he went to visit them, he literally had to go out to the barn to defecate. They didn't have toilets. They didn't have indoor plumbing. This is Jack Bell Sullivan's forge. And this would be the blacksmith's work facility and his forge. And you can hear the noise his forge would make as he pounded horseshoes and made all the implements that they needed. They still use a lot of horses in Ireland today. Jaunting cars are all horse operated. Here's some of the farm equipment that was in use. And some of this up to really modern times. So this is really how the Irish lived in the 1800s, 1900s, and even up to 1970. Many Irish folks lived. Now this house, the people bring their animals in, and they live with their animals in their house. They bring their cow and their pig, which were probably their prized possessions, and they bring them into their home. And here's their table, and there's their washstand where they could wash up, and there's a grinder to grind meat, and there's that bench where people would sit that also doubled as a place for the children to sleep. And there's the place the baby would sleep. there's the bed. And a baby carriage. These are and there's where they kept all of their plates and dishes and cups. These were humble people. They have slate on the floors here. I suspect that it was probably more likely dirt. Let's go to the next house. It's a whole village of houses here. What do we have over here? These are the awards that the Century Bod Village has won. This is the Sheben. This was an illicit drinking house selling alcohol without a license. Potent was a high alcohol content drink made from potatoes and was popular with the Sheben. Okay, so this was an illegal bar. An illegal bar where they serve beer and drinks. And some Irish whiskey flavors. This is Denny Riordan, a laborer's dwelling. This is how a laborer might have lived. Probably right up to the 1950s. So what do we have here? Once again, they display the dishes. He has a bicycle, a small bed, a gravel floor, a table with dishes, a few dishes, sparse quantity of dishes, some pitchers, probably water to wash with, and a fireplace to keep warm, with peat stacked up and ready to burn. A wash table, and another bicycle. Let's see what the next house looks like. And this is the way the Irish did live up to about 1950. This is Paddy Brown's house, and he's a thatcher. This is the way a roof thatcher would live. I guess he lived a little better. Paddy Thatcher has a double bed and a queen-size bed, and beds on the second floor with a ladder for children, I guess. So he had 2 floors in this house. He also has a good bit of plates and china. And he has some knives and cups and saucers and things. And looks like he had his grandma with him doing the cooking. And the peat fire. And here, once again, more cups and saucers displayed. This is the ruin of a home. In the 18th century, it was vacated by the wretched inhabitants due to the eviction of the Great Famine, 1845 to 1852. The structure was made from fieldstone and would have had a thatched roof. Bridget was a widow and was evicted from her home along with her 5 children. Separated from her loved ones, she later enrolled in the workforce. This would be Bridget's home. And it probably had a thatched roof on top. Potato blight and the Irish diet. Potato and tomato blight is a disease caused by a fungus-like organism known as Polyphora infestans. It spreads rapidly in the foliage of potatoes and tomatoes, causing collapse and decay. A typical dish in the Kerry Bod Village would have consisted of potatoes and, to a lesser degree, cabbage, poultry, eggs, occasionally dairy products. Food was scarce, and it was common for an entire family to go hungry on a regular basis. Potatoes were often eaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Here's another view of this house that she lived in, that she was evicted from. It's basically a stone house. And they put beams on it and thatched the roof. Here's another similar type of stone house. Notice the quit. Someone else being evicted from their stone house. It's a photograph of a farmer harvesting peat cutter. It's really sort of like a peat moss material, and this is what it would look like. And here's a farmer or some peat getter getting peat. This is how the Irish lived. Until very recent years, they were using peat to heat their houses.
The Bog Village, as you see portrayed here, is typically the first stop on Ring of Kerry tours, because the buses typically go counterclockwise around the Ring of Kerry, and this is one of the first places they stop. It also has a restaurant and a bar for the tourists who stop here as well, and a huge gift shop, which we haven't even shown you. So this is the number one tourist stop on the Ring of Kerry for people to stop.